Wagwan guys, what's going on? I hope you're doing good. I cannot complain myself. I wanted to talk about this video that came out of Dave Chappelle in a dress. I think he was also in a dress in a movie, The Robin Hood. And he made this big deal about wearing a dress and why he turned down $50 million. I think he was on the Oprah show. Basically talking about his leave of absence from the Chappelle show, if I'm not mistaken. And, he gave this whole detailed story about how this dude was like, hey man, we got a funny idea, man. We're gonna put you in a dress because Martin Lawrence is gonna try to break out of jail or break you out of jail, and you're gonna wear this dress because that's what we wrote. And he's like, no, I don't want to do that or whatever. They're in the room talking, or in the trailer talking for a minute, and he's adamant about not wearing this dress, of course. And then the guy comes back with a whole new script or whatever. This is the story that he gives on how he turned down $50 million. Okay, so my thing is this. Well, hold on. And then there's another incident where he's talking about the LGBT in that community. And he makes a joke about, how he makes a joke about the rapper The Baby and how he had an incident, I think, where it was in Walmart where he actually, was protecting himself. And he basically made a joke about the LGBT community, and which was kind of crazy to me because it's like all this comes out of you wearing dresses, you know what I'm saying? And it seems like it's just this one big spoof, and it's just one big joke, and it's almost like the Truman Show, to where it's a never-ending cycle, and all this comes about with Cat Williams on the Shay Shay Club, and he's talking about how these guys are stealing jokes, and everything is just this one, that's what it is, you know what I'm saying? It's this one big continual joke, and where does it end? You have, and even talking about Cat Williams, you have Steve Harvey wearing basically a man piece, this man wig, and he's wearing this hairpiece, and it's just this one big long joke at the end of the day. And some of these guys are funny, I'm not gonna lie, but it's glaring, and it's concerning because it's I think his wife's Hawaiian, she's Asian, Vietnamese, she's something of the sort, and and he has kids and children, but it's just so glaring to me. And I bring that up because it's he's setting this example almost to where he's not wanting to wear a dress. And it seems like every big superstar who makes it ends up wearing a dress. You have Jamie Foxx, you have Martin Lawrence, Will Smith, you have all these guys putting on dresses. And if that's their thing, that's their thing. Some people they need to be famous right now. They need to make money right now. And I understand you're not going to turn down an opportunity to where you can make, exuberant amounts of money. And I get that. I can 100% get it. And that's a thing. But then for you to put a spin on it, and it's a lie. It's a lie in plain sight. Everyone sees it. And basically he was, people knew about this already, but he had this new fame with the Chappelle show, and he gained a whole new audience. And they were fairly young when you think about it. So it was just this big spin on this, newfound fame that he had. And it's just one big joke. It's one big ruse at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And I see it. I think it's very telling. And you have, man, this thing, it's crazy. You had this other comedian who, it's almost mental health. That's what it is. And you had this one comedian, basically he ended up, that ended up being his downfall because he took it all in and he couldn't put a spin on it. He was doing too much, and he couldn't explain his way out of it, and that was to his downfall. And it was very sad. I think his name was Brody. It was a very tragic story that happened with him. And You know, it has some of the same elements in it, right? And people really can't live with some of the things that they do at the end of the day. And I just think that it's, you know, you have even Chris Tucker in The Fifth Element, and I get it, you know, it's very glaring and it's mental to a certain degree, because it's it looks crazy. That's what it does look like. And you can kind of, you know, I'm not saying, you know, I have any, you know, admiration towards that, but you know, that's this person's craft and it is what it is. And you can kind of, you know, you can kind of look into it and, you know what I'm saying, get what you get out of that, and I completely understand that. And you know, I can see the comedic stance in it. I can see how it's funny, you know what I'm saying. I can see how people may get a laugh out of it. And you know, you also have, right, the guy Mrs. Doubtfire, Robin Williams, great comedian, great. I've seen him in some really good movies, right? Speaking about that, you just had Cuba Gooding Jr. He was on stage dancing in a club, and you seen the lunacy in that, and right, and obviously you can see all of this, right, if you just take one step back and look. But they were in a movie, Robin Williams and Cuba Gooding Jr. They were in a movie, I think it was called What Dreams May Come. Very good movie. Some of these guys are just talented, man. These guys are just talented, and that's what it is at the end of the day. But that was tragic, right? Robin Williams, everybody remembers that. That was Mrs. Doubtfire. That was very tragic how that ended. Some people just do too much and they can't explain it away. And people just consume to no end, you know, no justifiable reason, no means to an end. They just do. They're just doers. They just, you know, they go and do something crazy, and they can't explain why they're doing it. They're just doing it. You know what I'm saying? And it's mental. It's definitely a mental illness. But you know, that's another case. You can't. These people know darn good well what they're doing, right? And what means to an end it's bringing is fame and fortune. That's what it is. But they just don't have the bearings to harness, you know, what comes, you know, by way of their actions. And I would like to see how he's gonna, you know, explain this. Not to say that he doesn't already have a rational reason for, you know, why, or if he needs a reason at all. But it's just like, people know of these things, right? And yeah, they may have just came to light, but you know, a lot of people don't know. And that's the truth too. A lot of people just don't, you know, understand why. And he made this big fuss. This is in conclusion. I'm going to just bring this point again. He made this big fuss, went on Oprah, why he turned down $50 million. You know, talked about a dress, made fun of LGBT. Actually, I think, I don't want to I'm going to paraphrase it here, but it was an incident that happened with an LGBT person, and you know, that ended tragic, and Dave Chappelle was like involved in that, and I believe he shared that story and what took place. And you know, it's just, and he like removes himself from that situation as if like his actions don't coincide with, you know what I'm saying? He's wearing a dress. Men don't do that. It is what it is, right? That's just, you want to disguise it under the guise of comedy. Okay, fine, do that. But then now you have to explain this whole ruse that this whole campaign you went on talking about, like how you just weren't comfortable wearing a dress, but like people know you worn dresses before. So now people want to hear the reasoning, and they want to have some questioning behind, like, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it's glaring. It's just like it's so many holes in the story, and it's just like a puzzle piece at the end of the day. But I am definitely willing to hear what he has to say about this. I know in any more interviews or this question is going to come up, and at the end of the day, you just have, it's mindless people, talking heads. And like, you've seen him on the Joe Rogan podcast, you've seen him on his new Netflix comedy specials, and it just seems so fake and diluted, and it's just like he has this weird voice that he talks in, and he seems like he, just really wants to make a point, but all of his, everything is just so pointless. It was like, I think it was like LGBT dude that like rushed the stage too, or just this crazy guy that rushed the stage and he like beat this dude up or whatever, him and his team, rightfully so, right? Because they ran up on stage. But it just seems like he's trying to reform his lifestyle while like shooing away all these, you have people like Medea and Tyler Perry that wears these dresses and do these shows, and that was a real big thing, and people were watching his work way before it got on TV, when it was just like stage plays, and like he was selling DVDs of it. But there's no real reasoning behind some of the stuff that he does, and it's glaring, because if you're a fan and you really like Dave Chappelle, and then you start looking at your base, like what is your base at the end of the day? You know what I'm saying? And like it's just one big ruse, one big joke, and I can see it, and I hope a lot of these Dave Chappelle fans see it, and I really would like to hear his reasoning behind this. But that's what I got for you guys, man. Peace. I'm out.